Ready? Hi, how are you, Cassandra?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good so far. So I can see that you're here for some uncomfortable situation. Um, do you mind just sharing briefly what's going on with you? What
Yeah,
brought you
sure.
here today?
Yeah, so I've been feeling like really overwhelmed lately with my internship. It's part of it's also part of my school program, and I know it's supposed to be a learning experience,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, it's been triggering a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
It started last week when my supervisor asked me to lead like a small team meeting. I kind of froze, honestly. I didn't
Mhm.
feel like I was ready, and I immediately thought like I'm going to mess this up.
Okay. I understand. So what you're saying to me is that the stress from like the assignments is really exhausting at this point, right?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure to carry. So I think we could start off with the ABC model. And A would be, the activating event, which is a situation that usually triggers this feeling. So I'm assuming like the type of assignment was really triggering for you.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. Um so now let's explore B, which is belief, what thoughts you go through when this is happening.
My automatic thought was that I'm not qualified for doing this meeting. Like I felt like they're going to realize that I don't belong here. Like I kept replaying that over and over in my head.
Mhm.
I believe it like almost 100%. I mean, like I keep thinking that I'm just a student, even though I'm working as well, but like how do I lead a team?
Mm-hmm. So you have a feeling of not feeling enough, like not feeling capable of doing this. Like you're questioning yourself, like, what are you doing here? That type of
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
Okay. And that sounds like a really heavy belief. Um, how often during your program have you felt this way? Is it lately or it's always been like that?
It's been lately, I think, because with all the assignments that are going on and, you know, not only in my internship, but I'm working full time as well from 8:30 to 5, and I feel
Mhm.
like what's the time frame that I'm going to get everything done because I also have a 10-year-old at home. So I
Mhm.
don't know how to balance all that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Understand. So that sounds really hard, to deal with. When you think this way, what are some of the feelings? How does it make you feel, and what do you usually do?
I feel like panicking, like my
Mm-hmm.
chest gets tight. I couldn't sleep the night before the meeting. Like I even considered calling in sick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ended up going, but I barely spoke during the meeting, and I just kept worrying that I looked incompetent and like that I don't belong here. And then, of course, my other thoughts were, well, if I can't do this, how am I gonna do school? And
Mm-hmm.
am I lacking in my work? How my parenting skills?
Mm-hmm. I understand. That's a lot of emotions that you're going through, and it sounds like the belief that you creates a cycle that's draining your energy even more. If you were to challenge that thought, what might be more balanced or a realistic belief instead of thinking you're not enough and you can't, you know, get things done, you're not worth being here. What would be a more realistic or positive belief?
I need to believe that I have the potential to do this.
Mhm,
I had the potential to do great in school. I
mhm,
had the potential to, work at the job that I work. I have the potential of parenting my niece. I have, the potential to being, selected for this internship. I
mhm,
need to like remember that, that I'm still learning, and that it's okay not to be perfect. I need
mhm,
to be like, I'm gaining experience, and it's okay to ask for help and support, and feel more empowered. So
mhm,
I can kind of continue doing so that I can lead a team meeting.
mhm. Okay. Well, that's great reframing, like to change the narrative, you know. How do you think that new belief might change how you feel or behave moving forward?
I need to remember that I'm not only doing this to better myself in my
Mhm,
life, that I'm also showing that even though my plate is completely full,
mhm,
that I can power through everything to show my need that it's okay to feel this way, but you can punch through those walls to continue, to not quit.
mhm. And that's a much healthier perspective to look at your life, especially during this stressful time. And do you think these new beliefs will affect your emotions and actions towards others too?
Um, I believe so. I think, being new there at the internship and not knowing people, I need to push through my self-worth, my like I have low confidence, so I need to push through that to
Mm-hmm.
make, new friends, and, even asking for help that maybe can
Mm-hmm.
work as a friend thing.
Yeah. And that's great insight because that will help you to give yourself grace and
Hmm.
give yourself the permission to find a balance instead of carrying all that guilt and anxiety around and understanding like things will be okay. It's just a phase and sometimes our downfall is the one that builds us up really, you know.
Hmm.
And I think with all of that, what you listed about, taking a turn and looking at things in a positive way, it will definitely have you feeling less guilty and maybe help with you connecting with your classmates and building a stronger relationship with them that will also help with you feeling more comfortable in during your sessions and stuff like that. um, do you ever think about like when you get overwhelmed like that, like think about taking breaks in between, like just to reflect and, gather yourself?
I never thought about doing that because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if I do take a break, I'd be so behind. But I like that, what you said. I think it's time to take a break, and that even a 5-minute break would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Start off with.
Yes. And because I really think that, taking breaks and resting more and shifting your focus will um push you to take care of yourself more and you will be much better in whatever environment you're in, like you don't want to feel so overwhelmed that you're burnt out and you can't give things your best. It's a very healthy direction to take things. And sometimes it's not about working harder, it's about working with balance and giving yourself grace and compassion.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's a better look at life and it will definitely help you. Um, you've really done some really good work today, identify what's your trigger, your stress, and how your thoughts about um what's affecting your behavior and adding pressure to you and reflecting and reframing things to have a positive perspective to look at things, not just negative. We saw how those beliefs lead to exhaustion and anxiety. But reminding yourself to do better, and you're doing your best, can help you feel calmer and more balanced. Before we wrap up, what's one small step you can take this week to take care of yourself and challenge those unhelpful thoughts?
I think I'm going to take a day, um, even half a day maybe, to kind of take a walk, before it gets cold, take a breath,
Hmm.
challenge, take my mind off of everything.
Hmm.
Um, I think that would be good. What do you think about that?
Mhm. That's a great goal. Getting rest isn't a sign of weakness. Taking time for yourself isn't a sign that you can't manage life. It's a part of sustaining your success, a reminder that you're valuable, and your value isn't measured by grades or how much you accomplish. It's also about how you take care of yourself through the process. And I'm sure you've learned that throughout your grad school, that self-care is very important. It doesn't matter the field you're in. It's really a real important part of who we are and what we need. So let's check in next time on how that self-care plan is going, and what are some thoughts that come up as you practice this new mindset. You're doing a lot, and you're giving yourself compassion, and giving yourself compassion is just as important as meeting expectation. So does that sound good?
That sounds great, actually. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, no problem. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.
Great, thank you. You too.
All right, thanks.